Back with Rachel and Adam again with another subject. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. When I hear this statement, I always think whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right. We've all had that one athlete as we've coached that maybe they're really not that good of an athlete, but for some reason they have this incredible belief in themselves, and it's amazing how many matches they actually go out and win just because of that belief, not because of a great skill or anything of that, but they just feel like they're going to win. And I've had that over and over and over again on teams, and it truly is amazing to see that happen because their skill level is not there, but their belief drives that. I've seen it over and over again, and I could mention hundreds, not hundreds, tens of twenties of wrestlers that I've coached that, have really believed in themselves and come through. But also on that flip side, I've also seen some really good wrestlers with a lot of skill that maybe haven't believed in themselves enough and maybe not made that breakthrough. Rachel, what have you seen? You've been on that world stage before, and so you've seen it at a lot of different levels. What do you believe in that statement?
Well, personally, that statement hits pretty hard. Because I historically was someone who never believed in myself. Like, I could get to the tournament, I could do kind of okay, but like I'd get to that final match and all of those doubts are creeping in my head, and like I just remember my entire life and everything, even like wrestling and everything else. My mom has always told me that my toughest critic is the one in between my ears. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, and that's something that I had to really really focus on, really work on through my wrestling career, was just being confident in myself, believing in myself. And now as a coach, I have athletes who I'm seeing the exact same things. And like as a coach, I just think it's really really important to fill those kids with confidence. um, a lot of coaches will say, every kid needs to be coached a little bit differently, and I 100% agree with that. I was someone who, when I got off the mat or before I got on the mat, is it was critiques were not good. It was just I needed to be filled with confidence. I was doing all the critique in my head already.
Mhm.
Um, so it's a really 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 tough thing, but if you work hard on it and you work hard to believe in yourself, great things can happen.
Is there an example by either one of you on confidence is definitely something that we talk about a lot in our wrestling room, and I don't know if I've ever come up with a great way to help kids get confidence other than repetitions and showing them small victories. Is there anything that you guys can do that you do in your room that maybe would help somebody out?
I think the repetitions do go a long way. And then we intentionally create difficult situations, whether it's an unadvantageous position in wrestling, like when we're going live, or if it's just a grueling conditioning workout. And then while they're in that situation, we just try to talk through some mindset things and what your inner voice is telling you in those moments. So we'll ask a series of questions like, so what are you hearing right now? What are you telling you? And then who is in control of that voice? Is it saying what you need to hear right now? Or how can we fix that? What should you be telling yourself? Um, so I guess that's kind of how we, beyond just the repetitions of that, is just putting them in those intentionally tough situations. And we prep them at the start of the season. Like, this is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. But it's designed that way. And your mindset goes a long way towards accomplishing things that you didn't think were achievable. And if we have kids that are really goal oriented, we tell them, make sure you set something that you think you have no shot at achieving, because that's what we want to push for. We want to push for the highest of highs, and then put everything in we can to get there.
Well, actually, I was kind of thinking I was gonna take it a different way.
Oh, okay.
Competition wise, something that always worked for me, is I had to not really think about the match, get out of my head a little bit, because you spend all your time in the practice room preparing. So I had a coach in college, Matt Stevens, and he would tell me jokes, before I stepped on the mat. So then it was impossible for me to doubt myself. So you're laughing, joking, and letting the wrestling speak for itself. And I do that with some athletes too, kind of let's joke around before the match, so you can't really be self-doubting. You're laughing, having a good time, and then you can go out there and do what you know what to do.
Yeah.
One thing that, when Rachel was talking about that self inner voice, um, I've been trying to talk to people and say, that voice that you hear, what's it saying about you? And then now turn around. Would you ever say that to your friend? Would you ever say that? No, you never would. So why would you say that to yourself? That's the only thing I can think of that maybe is a possible coaching thing. I'm definitely going to steal from Adam. That's a great thing. And I like to joke around quite a bit too. So I'm probably going to try a few jokes before. So excellent stuff, both of you. Thanks for this one. We'll be moving on to another one here real shortly.